A lot of people are saying we need to take the bird flu serious, that it's changing, it's mutating, it's becoming something where it could eventually lead to a pandemic if we don't keep an eye on it, if we don't get the right data on it, if we don't cover it. If you're taking this medication, you might want to call the pharmacy and double check to make sure your lot number is not a part of this recall. And this recall happened a while ago, and I'm just finding out about it. And I do take 2 of those medications. Hey y'all, so bird flu strikes again.
Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow.
Bird flu is on the rise. That being said, what else might be on the rise due to this is egg prices may soon be going up. The price of meat may soon be going up, as if we needed to hear any more drama in our economy. So they are saying here that H5N1 virus, or better known as the bird flu, in the past 30 days, the virus has struck 66 poultry flocks, leading to deaths of more than 3.5 million turkeys, chickens, ducks, and increased compared to summer months. So birds are migrating and they are getting into flocks or flying over commercial backyard flocks. At the moment, states in the middle of the country are the ones that are being hit the hardest, but they expect more outbreaks in other parts of the country, given birds are migrating right now. If not taken seriously, the fallout could be bad. It could lead to more high prices in eggs. Influenza researchers fear a replay of last year, when for the first time the U.S. actually saw 70 human cases of bird flu, and one was a death. So they're saying if this is not taken seriously, it could be worse than last year.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but it's time to take the bird flu seriously. This virus is now everywhere in the United States. The virus is changing. In January 2022, we saw that it was also in wild birds in the United States, that it very quickly went on to infect lots of different bird species, and now it has infected dozens of animal species: cats, raccoons, bears, sea mammals, and cows, which we never even knew were susceptible to this kind of flu. And now we had all of these herds all over the country that were infected with this virus. And what was also really strange was that there was a lot of virus in the milk of these cows. There was a person in Louisiana who had been interacting with sick and dying birds. This person was over 65 and had underlying health conditions, so that tells you that maybe they were extra susceptible. The reason that this is an alarming case, apart from the death, is that the virus changed while in this person into developing some mutations that make it easier for it to infect people. Flu viruses are very good at changing and picking up new mutations, and with each infection, the virus has a new chance to mutate. If it comes across the right combination of mutations that would allow it to infect people more easily instead of birds, it could start jumping from person to person. So that's the big worry. One scientist I talked to put it this way: it's a bit like playing roulette. At some point, the virus is going to hit the right numbers to make human-to-human transmission possible. That's when we start thinking that it might lead to a pandemic. There's no need to panic quite yet. It's not a pandemic and may not be ever, but it is very important that we take all the precautions to stop us from getting there.
No human cases have been reported since earlier this year, but it's harder and harder for them to track it because of the funding cuts to that particular agency due to the administration. Researchers are saying they don't have the data necessary, as much of the infrastructure has been either completely closed down or significantly hampered, meaning they have let go a lot of staffing, cutbacks, or retirements and other policies.
Cases of bird flu are rising as more wild birds head south. Within the last month, 66% of poultry flocks nationwide have been hit with the virus, resulting in the deaths of more than 3.5 million turkeys, chickens, and ducks. With the number of turkeys dropping to its lowest levels in 40 years. Retail prices are now up about 25% with just 3 weeks to go until Thanksgiving.
With news out of BC, the controversial cull at Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia is now complete, with about 300 birds shot dead last night in an operation that stretched several hours. That confirmation coming from the BC RCMP and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Here is some video from last night at the farm. The cull was at the centre of an emotional protest and a high-profile court battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada, which in the end refused to hear the case. The CFIA says that after consulting experts experienced in managing ostrich disease outbreaks, it concluded the most appropriate and humane option was to use professional marksmen. The farm is still quarantined under the Health of Animals Act.
Next, we have a urgent recall, and this is a sweet treat that I know a lot of people probably have in their freezers. There's a urgent recall on a deadly item that was found inside of Häagen-Dazs's ice cream bars sold at Kroger's and another grocery store as well across 31 states. So the FDA has issued a recall on the Häagen-Dazs product due to potential risk to customers with gluten allergies or intolerances, and this includes many dark chocolate bars as well. This recall only applies to their 6-count boxes of dark chocolate mini ice cream bars, a best by date of January 31st, 2027. The FDA announced it on November 3rd. The recall noticed that it had recalled a limited number of ice cream bars that may contain undeclared wheat. No other Häagen-Dazs products or other batches have been affected. And as a refresher, the most prescribed heart medication on the shelf is atorvastatin. I told y'all about that, a few weeks ago, that it had been recalled. Well, it's still the recall out there, and they're reminding you that 140,000 bottles have been recalled. So upset about this right now because I'm looking here. There was a recall back in July for another blood pressure medication that I am taking and so many others are taking. I don't know if people know that there was even a recall on it. I had no idea. Now, I don't take lisinopril, but there was a recall on lisinopril back in July. And the one medicine that I do take, there's another recall on that medication. This is ridiculous. This is why I'm trying so very, very hard to drop the weight and be able to get off of these blood pressure medications, because God only knows what they are giving us. So this article is from July, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to you because this is insane. It says nearly 60,000 bottles of blood pressure drugs have been recalled nationwide. The cause is a product mix-up, as a drug meant to treat a different condition was reportedly discovered in the medication. So back in July, the FDA announced an ongoing recall on 58,968 bottles of lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide, which is one that I take, hydrochlorothiazide. Maybe they need to do more monitoring. Maybe they need to not cut funding to certain things so there is more monitoring of how these people are creating the medication that so many of us rely on, for most life-saving. The hydrochlorothiazide works as a diuretic, also known as a water pill, lowering blood pressure by helping to regulate fluid, thereby taking stress off of the heart, kidneys, and blood vessels, and that's according to the Mayo Clinic. And y'all, they were recalled. The FDA named the product mix-up as a recall reason, further expanding this product is being recalled because of a complaint received that a sealed bottle of lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide tablets, 20 milligrams, had a foreign tablet. It has some other medication in it, okay? I'm not even going to butcher the name of that medication. So those medications that they found in the heart medication actually treat HIV-1 infected people. Like, are you serious right now? So lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide tablets, 100 count bottles, prescription only, by the Lupin Pharmaceuticals rather, The recall, first initiated on June 20, was designated as a Class 2 event on Thursday, July 17th. Class 2 recalls involve products that may cause temporary or medically irreversible or reversible adverse health effects. Y'all, this is insane. They had HIV medication inside of the heart. The heart medication. I'm gonna have to see what my batch is, because I take it every day. I take it once a day, hydrochlorothiazide. I can't take lisinopril. I had to stop taking that years ago because I didn't like the way it made me feel or whatever, but that's insane. And also a recall on a different medication that I also take. I think I need to go back to home remedies because this is making me nervous right now. So a heartburn medication, it starts with the O. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Omeprazole, that is given like a generic version of Prilosec, but the Prilosec brands are not affected, but that omeprazole is. So yeah, I'm gonna just go back to my old remedies, some baking soda and some warm water for heartburn, things like that, some beet juice or whatever for blood pressure. I'm not just gonna take myself off of blood pressure medication, so don't worry about that. What I'm saying is I'm working to get off of those medications because of things like this. So definitely, if you're on any of those, go check and make sure yours hasn't been recalled. Just call the pharmacy and see. And that's all I'm going to do is call the pharmacy and see if the hydrochlorothiazide is affected in that recall from back in July. And what can you do? What can you do? So y'all, let me hear from you in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all take care, stay safe. I'm out here working my side hustle right now at, trying to do some spark delivery. Please hit that like, share the video out, leave your comments down below, and y'all take care, stay safe, keep your head on a swivel. Bye.
One of the best things you can do for your family is to start a garden, get your seeds, figure out what you're going to grow, where you're going to grow it, how you're going to grow it, and get busy doing that. You don't have to have a garden bed. You can use buckets like you see the white buckets right there. Just do something, because relying on someone else is giving them control.
I was a girl with dreams so wide, eyes full of wonder, heart opens, arms away. But somewhere along the road, I felt that I feel the pull of who I should be, caught between the past and what I can see. The weight of the change rests on my chest.